Okay, hello everyone. Let's start the things, and we are going to understand the answering pattern of AS level essays and A2 level essays. The answer format will be same. Okay. So let's start the things. If we talk about 26 marker essay. We are going to talk about 26 marker essay. Okay. In this part, we are going to learn about how to write down the 26 marker essay. First, we need to understand the prompt word. Actually, the prompt word is evaluate. Okay. Evaluate the view that. And there is a complete statement afterwards. There is a complete statement. Okay, the prompt word is evaluate. Evaluate stands for what? First, we need to understand the term evaluate. What is meant by evaluate? It's more about to explore the positive and negative side of the circumstances. Am I right? You need to explore the both sides. Like you need to explore the positive and negative side of the statement, and negative side of the statement. Okay, this is all about the evaluate. This is all about to evaluate something. Am I right? Is it there? What we are discussing about? We are discussing about how to write 26 marker essay. Am I right? So first we need to work on first we need to talk about the question. The question will be like this: evaluate the view that, and there is a statement out there. Okay? There is a statement out there. And what first we need to understand the meaning of evaluate. Evaluate is it means you need to analyze the positive and negative side of the statement. First thing is any confusion here? Okay. If we move forward. First, we need to know about the introduction paragraph. Introduction paragraph is all about what? The key element of the introduction paragraph is first we need to talk about the key term. First, we talk about the key terms, and we talk about the core perspectives. With the help of this paragraph, you just want to explore this thing. You just want to tell your exam that you know the statement, the positive and negative side of the statement. Like, let's suppose if the question is like that. The main function of the family is to reproduce the obedient workforce. The main function of education system or the main function of the family is to reproduce obedient workforce. What do you think that this thought may be extracted from the Marxist point of school of thought? Am I right? So you are just going to talk about the core function of the family or education, and you are going to talk about this statement like that. According to Marxists, the main function of the education of the family.
Answer is you can start with
exactly. Yeah, you can go with that. First, you explain the key term, and then afterwards, you are going for the sharing your perspective. Am I right? You are sharing the both sides. But you are saying on the other hand, according to functionalists, the main function of education or the main function of family is for the socializing individuals and primary socialization. You are just going to endorse your core concept. Am I right? This thing is going to help you out to sort out anything. Let's suppose if you talk about the family, there is a question out there that the main function of the family is to protect the capitalist ideology within the society. Okay, here you are going to talk about the capitalist ideology, and which is all about the capitalism, which is all about the thought that the inequality is a natural phenomena. And afterwards, you are going to explore this thing according to Marxists. This idea is just like this, and according to functionalists, the main function of the family, is for the primary socialization, reproduction, or anything like that. And you can go in the same way with like education also. Okay, any confusion there? Okay. So afterwards, there actually we have two basic styles of writing an answer. Am I right? We are having two basic styles of writing an answer. Number one is two styles of essays. Number one is debate style. Number two is argumentative style. Okay. Previously, we can go in this way also, like debate style stands for what? Thesis, argument, then entire thesis argument, then thesis, then entire thesis. You are going in a debate pattern. Am I right? Sometimes we need to go in this way, and argumentative style stands for thesis on one side and entire thesis on one side. But the pattern which I am going to tell you today is a combination of both styles. It's a combination of I am going to recommend this the combination of both style pattern. Okay, how is this so? That is all about the introduction para. Now, my structure is that just like that. Here is the thesis area. Thesis 3 to 4 paragraph. And entire thesis 3 to 4 paragraphs. You can add or subtract number of paragraphs, okay, but not less than 3. Okay. But in my pattern, each and every paragraph contains evaluations. I am going to emphasize a lot of evaluations because the prompt word of the question is based on evaluation. Am I right? It's more about to evaluate. So my style is more about thesis plus evaluation, entire thesis plus evaluation. I love to add evaluation in every paragraph because this will definitely enhance your grade and this will definitely help you out to score very good marks. Am I right? So, if we move forward, let's suppose here is all about thesis, thesis, para 1 or 2 or 3, let's suppose. Okay, we will have similar form of structure like what? First, we are going to introduce our argument, introduction of argument. In first 2 to 3 lines, we are just going to introduce our argument. Am I right? Let's suppose according to Marxist, the family is going to support the capitalist ideology, ideologically, economically, and politically, and culturally. Am I right? You are going to endorse this idea. Same goes with education. Okay. So, introduction of argument, and then afterwards, I am going to explain and analyze your argument with the help of case studies, example, sociologist, and stats. Am I right? Once I'm going to say, explain and analyze your argument with the help of case studies, examples, and sociologists, and stats, how you are going to do this thing. Listen to me, everyone. Yeah, listen. Here, I just introduce an argument that once I'm going to say this thing, that the family is going to support the capitalist ideology, ideologically, capitalism ideologically, economically, politically, am I right? So afterwards, I'm just going to, what I'm going to say is thing, according to Althusser, the family is a part of ideological state apparatus.
Yes.
Okay, the family is a part of ideological state apparatus who is going to support the capitalist ideology within the society. Okay, while the Zertsky argues that the family is going to is an economic institution, the family is going to support the capitalism economically by consuming goods. Am I right? And they also introduce this term which is called privatized family. The family is going to support or stabilize the family structure. Okay, I'm just going to show you an example. I'm going to show you. So what I was doing, I'm just using some theorists or sociologists to endorse my idea or introduction or my argument. Am I right? I'm just endorsing my argument with the help of sociologists. Am I right? So what I was doing, I'm just endorsing that thing. First, introduce your argument, and afterwards introduce your sociologist to endorse your argument. That he is also saying my point. Am I right? He is also endorsing my point. You can add on the stats also, like the inequality is a social problem. You can say in most of the world, the 80% of the world's wealth used to own by only 80 individuals. So it's just like that. Or 80 individuals used to own these are the capitalists who control all the wealth of the world. So this is all about what? This is all about explaining. You need to explain and analyze your argument with the help of case studies, examples, and sociologists' studies and stats. And you can support anything to endorse your idea or endorse your argument. Clear? Not able to understand? Okay? Okay. So I'm going forward. This is all about, the third point is all about evaluation of argument. This is one of the primary elements. What is meant by evaluation? First, you need to understand this thing. This is all about the limitation of argument. Am I right? This could be the weakness of argument. This could be the future prospect. This could be the cross-cultural prospect. What is meant by cross-cultural prospect? I'm going to share an example with you. Like if you are giving this example, if you are giving the example of gay and lesbian marriages, you are giving example of gay and lesbian marriages. Okay, so what you are going to say, let's suppose, first you introduce the argument that there is an increase in family diversity due to the laws related to the civil partnership in terms of the gay and lesbian marriages are introduced in USA and India, in USA, UK, India. So in some states of India particularly. So you are going to say this thing that you are going to endorse all the things. And afterwards, you can use the term however. I used to use the term however on the other hand to introduce my evaluation part. Am I right? To introduce I can say one thing. However, in conservative countries like Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Iran, Pakistan, the gay and lesbian rights are not there, and these countries, the civil partnership is illegal stuff in the countries like Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Iran. Got it? So this is all about you. I'm using the cross-cultural prospect. Am I right? In some cases, I can use the future prospect also.
What is that?
Future prospect stands for what would be the next scenario. Like, is this the relevant job or not? Let's suppose if I'm going to share the example of media. Okay, in media, we can say this thing that the big six companies like Sony, Warner Brothers, Universal, at some extent we can say this thing, these companies are irrelevant due to the introduction of the digital media companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Sony Live. These companies are overtaking the digital media companies are overtaking these companies.
What is happening next?
Exactly. We can go with, let's suppose if I'm going to talk about the example of these ownership of the companies. of these media houses. Ownership of these, I can say, however, in the future prospect due to digitalization, the digital media corporations control and own the media more rather than this. Am I right? Digital media corporations are like Netflix, is controlling more rather than the companies like Amazon, Universal or Sony. They are having more customers and they are gradually increasing. They are having good future prospects as compared to the broadcast journalism and the companies like we were having satellite companies, who were satellite TV channels. Any confusion there? So, is it clear?
Yes.
I have created a cross-cultural prospect, future prospect. Weakness is a very simple thing, limitation is a very simple thing. Okay, one more argument. You can include, listen one moment. You can include entire thesis argument also, but not in detail. You can include entire thesis argument also. Like I can say, however, according to, let's talk about that previous question of the family. I can say this thing, however, according to functionalists, the main function of education system is to do what? Is to promote the social solidarity, is to promote the primary socialization and reproduction functions. Am I right? And I can do one thing, like suppose it's the same question, the main function of education system is to promote the capitalism. I just introduce all the examples and explanation and analysis of that area. I can include one more point. However, according to feminists, the main function of education is to do the gendered socialization. Exactly. Include entire thesis argument or other perspectives also. You can include other perspectives. You can. This is more about, you want to show how broad are you, huh? You want to go? Yeah, if you're going to be. This is all about the idea where you want to introduce other perspectives, which may result into what? This may result into, because you want to show this thing, that you know the each and every side of the scenario. That is the beauty of the question. Sorry? Okay. In some cases, I am not going to recommend you to have these things in one paragraph. You can divide these things in 2 paragraphs also. Okay, and do whatever thing. What I used to recommend. Let's suppose this is your page, okay? You're writing, okay? You can include evaluation from here. You did the evaluation, and now leave one line and start another paragraph. Because this thing will definitely give a chance to the examiner to understand what is evaluation and what is an another paragraph. Because once you are writing, leaving one line and writing it down, it may result in the sign that you are going to the another order. Am I right? So, is it clear? Is it clear to you all? Is it clear? Safia, is it clear? Okay, now you have done the 3 paragraphs like this. You can include minimum 3 to 4 paragraphs. Okay, I'm writing 4 paragraphs because otherwise you guys will write only 3 paragraphs. Okay,
you have to give exact percentages.
Sorry?
You have to give exact percentages of things.
Percentages of things like what? Like stats?
Yeah.
If you are having stats, you need to go for the exact percentages. Am I right? But if you talk about case studies example, you don't need to do that. Or you can use the term like increase. There is a gradual increase, or you can use a gradual decrease term. Okay, so just to do, if you are not able to memorize the things that what is the exact figure, you can go with a, let's suppose in 1961, there's a gradual increase of in low parent families from, let's suppose, actual argument is this, from 1961 to 2005, there is a gradual increase from 2% to 12%. Am I right? But you are not able to memorize that. You can say there is a 10 times increase, or you can memorize it that way. Just let's say 2 to 10, 12%, you can increase, say in this way, 5 times increase in 40 years. Okay, so you can include like that. Okay, so now I'm coming towards another argument, like entire thesis argument. Para 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have a good content, you can describe it like that. Minimum for 3 paragraphs. You need minimum 3 paragraphs. Okay. Okay. So what you are going to do? You are going to do the similar thing. Number 1, introduction of argument. Explanation and analysis, and the last component is evaluation with each paragraph. Am I right? Analysis, evaluation with each paragraph. While you are going for the evaluation with each paragraph, this will definitely enhance your answers. And now, you can include all the things, limitation, weakness of the argument. You can include the cross-cultural prospect. You can include future prospect. You can include thesis arguments also, but not in detail, because the detail is required at the explanation point. Am I right? So you can include the thesis argument also, another perspectives also. Any confusion till here? Okay. Any confusion? Okay. So if we move forward, now we need to understand the area which is all about, which is very important. That is your conclusion. Okay. The first thing is summarize. Okay. First thing is all about introduce thesis and anti-thesis arguments. Thesis and anti-thesis arguments. Okay. First, you need to introduce thesis and introduce thesis and anti-thesis arguments. Clear or okay. And then verdict link with post-modern society. You need to link this thing that what is more relevant. In the post-modern society, diversity is a universal trend or a global trend. Am I right? Evidence of your verdict. You need to give the evidence of your verdict, that why you are saying this thing, why you are endorsing this thing. It means the introduction of postmodern perspective is very important, particularly in conclusion, because examiner wants to know that do you actually know what is going on? Am I right? The examiner wants to know, do you actually know what's going on in the society or not? Am I right? So you need to introduce that and try to introduce the postmodern perspective in evaluation part also. In part also. Why is this so? Because if you are talking about any grand narrative or you are talking about any meta narrative, you have a complete chance to once you are talking about, let's suppose you talk about Marxism. Marxism is saying this thing that main function of education system is to promote the capitalism. This is a meta-narrative statement. Am I right? You can introduce, oppose a point like that. According to Lyotard, according to Lyotard, what is this all about? There is no one meta-narrative. Lyotard rejects all the grand narratives, and he opposes that. He supported the idea of creating a narrative on the basis of individual preferences, because individualism. They used to. Do you know about postmodernism? Last class में मैंने कराया था। नहीं, उसके बाद तुम्हारे पास लेक्चर्स में सारे?
बस एक दो एक फोन है एक।
देखो। Sorry.
वो ये है।
he saying? He's saying there is no one grand narrative. There is no meta narrative in the society. Meta narrative is what? One truth. Once you are going to say this thing, that this is the only way of doing this thing. Am I right? So you can introduce. Say what is this all about? You are going to oppose. Listen, this is true. If you talk about Marxism, if you talk about functionalism, these theories are actually modernist theories, stereotypical theories based on grand narrative, grand claims. Am I right? While if you talk about another side of the statement, this is all about what? This is once we are going to say this thing, we are going to reject this idea that the postmodernists used to reject the idea of grand claims. They are used to reject the idea of meta narrative, and they assume that the individual must have a right to do whatever they want to do. Any confusion till here? Sorry?
What kind of evidence would you give?
What kind of you can talk about, let's suppose we talk about the diversity. Diversity is according to rappers, the diversity is a universal trend. And you can introduce one argument related to postmodernism, you can write it down. You can write down one argument related. According to Srinati, you can include this argument anywhere, where you want to add on. According to Srinati, Strinati, postmodernism is more about style. The postmodernism is more about style rather than content. You know, ask me something. It's more about style rather than content. It means the things are usually same in postmodern societies also, but the style is eventually changed. There's a drastic change in the style. Got it? So this is all about the postmodern era. Oh, I am so sorry. Please give me a second. So I hope the things are fine till now. Any confusion? Please copy this. Yeah, I'll get removed, no worries. एक सेकंड मुझे एक कॉपी कर लो उसको. Because a lot of students used to ask me about this thing. मैंने कहा इसको एक मरतबा सुकून से